push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
Oh, baby, what a day it is indeed. It is the 18th of July here in 2022, and it is a Monday, which means that it is the Power Hour right here on your sports network. DJ Oakley, Richie Giuliano with you, and we've got lots going on. A lot, Rich. You are monitoring like better than anybody ever, scouring the internet for the MLB draft, which we've seen already have a couple stories out of it, waiting on one in particular that we're going to talk about today. A lot to talk about. You've got some awesome topics. But first, as we do each and every day, we're going to get to On This Day in Sports History, which I think brings up a really interesting topic. Here we go. All right. Interesting, but easy all the same. So on this day in sports history, July 18th, 1991, the Florida Marlins logo is unveiled to the world. The Florida Marlins, with the Marlins I will always remember. Nobody from Florida raised a peep about it when they moved it to Miami. The way that people are losing their marbles about the ketchup bottles at Acrisure Stadium now. I almost said Heinz Field. I caught myself. But here's the question, Rich. You ready? The greatest logo in Major League Baseball history, in your opinion, belongs to?
I said the Phillies.
Phillies.
They got the bell, the Liberty Bell, and they've got that bell that is featured in right center field, overlooks the ballpark. Pretty cool logo. It's kind of different because when you look at everybody else's logo, they have their initials usually.
Yep.
Like a C or an M.
Or a P.
Or a P. You know, it's just initials. But, you know, what's nice about the Phillies logo is they have their entire Phillies name and then the bell behind it. Kind of symbolizes the city and symbolizes the nation.
Let me tell you a little story about the P on the hat. My dad always had the dad joke of when I was wearing my Pirates hat. Oh, I didn't know you like to have P on your head. Made me think twice about wearing that Pirates hat.
Else, but that's good.
Mine is one, and I gotta break out the hat because it's the best logo, I think, and it's almost sacrilege to say this as a Pirates fan. Look how big this freaking hat is. I look like Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Baseball. This thing, look how legit that is. That is the best logo ever. The M and the B with the baseball in the middle, it makes a baseball glove.
Sweet.
I mean, that's just the best. Come on. Like this is
Pablo.
You know what this is?
You should wear that when we go down to Laredo.
I will.
You might get mistaken for Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sanchez, right? Isn't that what was
Sanchez,
his name?
Yeah, something like that.
Pablo Sanchez. Look, this hat is so big. This is one of those orders from China that I ordered my hat size, and they said, "Oh, his head's so big." Boom! It is 7 3/8, which in normal American culture, like if you go to lids, like it fits me and it's kind of tight.
Yep.
This thing is a bucket.
Yeah, that's
a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, let me see that thing.
Oh, this ought to be good. This ought to be real good. Watch this.
All right. Play some ball. My favorite is the backwards hat.
Dude, look at you. You can live in that. That could be a house.
Looks like one of those bobblehead caricatures.
Yeah. That's legit. You know the best part about these hats? I don't know if you can see it, but the cut is so bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's so bad. Like it's not straight across like a regular hat. It like
Thing's
dips
flopping
down
like a New York pizza.
Oh my gosh, the flop. All right, Rich. Today we have a lot. I mean, you are just absolutely all over that draft. We're waiting on Don Palali.
Yeah.
Is one of the big names we're waiting on. The Canfield guy. He's been on YSN. You can go YouTube it right now. YSN. Just look up Don Palali. I think it's called the Palali Pop because he's got such a big bat. Dude's at NC State right now. You think he's going to go in the 5th, somewhere between the 5th and the 7th or somewhere around there. We're waiting for it because we love Dom. He's been such a great advocate for what we do, and he's such a great talent. He's been all over the globe, and a true in and true out Canfield kid.
Yeah, he was a special talent. He went to Charlotte first. Kind of got hurt there in Charlotte, but he played so well when he came back from that injury, and he overcame a lot. He thought his career was going to be over after he got hurt in left field, but he came back stronger than ever. Spent a lot of time in that weight room and in the rehab room as well. So he came back. Then he went to NC State, kind of lit it up. A lot of people were looking at the home run king at NC State, but behind the curtain was Don Palali, a guy who's producing night in and night out. So he's a big talent, and he's still young, so he's got that draft eligibility left. And hopefully we see him in the 6th or 7th because I believe the 5th is over now. So I hope that either the Pirates or the Guardians take him, because you always want to see a guy in the minor league systems. And, there's so many hot spots around the Pittsburgh area and the Cleveland area that have minor league teams that are affiliated with both the Guardians and the Pirates. So you always want to see those two teams pick them up so you're able to watch them play in person.
Man, and just to see, and I told you, I said, we'll order a Palali uniform, like jersey, straight up right now, customized, before he even gets the call up to the show. But that's one of those things we're certainly going to reach out, and he's going to be busy if he gets drafted. One of the most important days of his life. The day that you've worked for, we're going to reach out to him. If we get him the next couple of days, I feel good about it. But if he was able to come up even on tonight, just for a couple minutes, cool. We're doing a home run derby watch party. You can watch along with us. I thought it'd be, you and I and Kyle thought it would be cool to, we usually watch a home run derby and have nobody around us. Usually I'm getting yelled at by my wife. Why are you watching this? Everybody just hits home runs. But like with true baseball fans, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring on true baseball fans to watch this thing because I think it's one of the best days all year.
I love it. I think it's one of the best festivities that Major League Baseball does. And, it draws a sold-out crowd every single time. And I believe Dodger Stadium, who holds over 50,000, that thing's going to be sold out. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of big names in it. So especially hometown guy for the Guardians and Jose Ramirez, who got the call, and it'll be a fun time. I always enjoy it.
Did I ever tell you the story about Jose Ramirez when I was leaving the ballpark? I was leaving Progressive Field. My wife and I were leaving Progressive Field.
Okay.
We were invited by a couple friends of ours to go to the game. They had loge seats and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So we go, the Bells. I don't know if you know the Bells. So we were leaving to go home. It was a day game, and we kind of hung around for a little bit, probably too long. And we're on our way out. And as you're leaving, I'm trying to think what that would be. Would that be left field? I think it's left field. And you're going towards like the highway. Is it 480 or whatever?
Okay, so you're behind where the big fence is and where all the players park.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
We're leaving and we're trying to go across, and the crossing person puts their hand up, tries to stop traffic so we can get across. Well, here comes this $200,000, $300,000 car flying past. Doesn't listen, doesn't watch. Jose Ramirez.
Oh, yeah.
I almost got hit by Jose. Well, I shouldn't say my wife almost got hit by Jose Ramirez. And like, I'm pretty sure one of us, I'll say it's me, but I think we all know the hero of this story, flew the bird to Jose Ramirez, clear as day.
Really?
Clear as day. So we'll be rooting for him in the home run derby. I told her, I said, listen, have your foot get run over or something like that. Like, that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but that's a flat foot. Like, that's going to suck for the rest of her life.
Here's a good thing, though. Out of that lawsuit, you probably get pretty good amount of money back.
I would imagine. Dude, he left a lot of money on the table to stay in Cleveland,
but he still is,
But if he runs over somebody's foot, maybe he needs a little extra, and maybe he's not in Cleveland anymore. Yeah. So ipso facto, we'd like to take credit for, Jose Ramirez staying. Could have ended a lot different. You're obviously rooting for Jose Ramirez tonight. I like him. I respect the heck out of him for what he did in Cleveland. But I got to tell you, man, something tells me Albert Pujols is going to put on a show.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
I mean, it's either going to be Pujols. I honestly think that Seager is kind of a sleeper. I mean, everybody's looking at Kyle Schwarber and Pete Alonso because those two guys, one, Pete Alonso already won it, and two, they can mash, and they are top 5, I believe.
Did Alonso win it twice?
Home runs. I think just once.
Okay, I thought he won it twice.
Yeah, so he's already won it, and then Juan Soto's in it, and he's got a lot of pop, but I don't know. It takes multiple rounds to win it.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna win it.
Dude just turned down $440 million.
Yeah, I know. That's insane.
Like, he turned down $440, and he's gonna be in the home run derby tonight. Like, what happens if you get hurt in this thing? He's never going to get another offer for $440 million.
No. But, I guess you take that risk because he kind of sees where that, program and franchise is moving. And if he wants to get out, he's got a chance.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do professionally? Let's put that – sickos. Let's put that out there for $440 million. Let's say over 10 years.
All right, so 10 years, 440. I mean – for me, I've always been an advocate of I want to win, so like whoever has got the team that is going to win, I'll sign there. And you're going to listen, his talent, no matter where he goes, he's going to make 20 a year minimum.
But anywhere you can make double that plus.
You could.
But it's the Nationals, and they're a few years removed from a World Series title.
Yeah, but that's the problem because everybody's gone. Their whole entire pitching rotation's gone. I don't know what their minor league system's like. I mean, that's stuff you got to take into consideration because, if you got a couple guys coming up and you're young, and then by the time he's in his 5th year of his contract, they're probably going to be pretty good again. But you never know. And one thing I always look at, when major leaguers go into this decision time, like around this draft time, you always got to look at how am I going to win in the future? Because right now, you might have a great team, and this is always when the teams dump in that $300, $400 million contract. But if it's 1 year, 2 years, and you don't win the World Series, how are you going to be after that?
Do we judge baseball players the same way we judge football players from how many rings they have? Like, is anybody really going to take away from Bryce Harper how great he is, and Mike Trout how great he is, Juan Soto how great he is, because he doesn't win 3-4 rings?
No, I mean, you're right, because baseball is completely different. I mean, it takes a full 40-man roster to be able to win a World Series because one guy can't do everything. But at the same time, Mike Trout, he's getting paid, an arm and a leg to play there. But at the same time, every single postseason, he's on his couch. Mm-hmm. And at what point in your career does that kind of get frustrating? Because when you're young and you're making that much money and you're driving a Lamborghini and you're living, near LA and, life seems perfect, but when you're older in your career and you don't have a World Series ring, that's got to be aggravating at some point. You would think as a competitor.
All right. Yeah, there it is. As a competitor. So I'm a big competitor. I'm a competitive guy, right? Yeah. At some point in my life, now I'm still competitive every day. I find things to be competitive. At some point in my life, I relinquished winning championships. Like, we're never up for awards. We're never up for anything as far as YSN goes. And I could care less. It's all about making sure that guys like you and Quinn, everybody under the YSN roster is able to benefit financially and make themselves happy every day and going to work and talking about sports and things like that. That's my championship. Mm-hmm. And I think that if I'm Juan Soto, $440 million can buy me a lot of trophies that I don't even have to win. Yeah. Like, That by itself is a trophy. Yeah. Like, you're the highest paid baseball player, I think, in ever.
I know there's a lot to do with your money.
Sure.
But at the same time, as a professional athlete for that 10 years, you are living and breathing the game of baseball.
100%.
And you're around the field all day. You're traveling all year. You're at spring training. You're doing all this. You're in the weight room even when you're not in season. At what point do you kind of sit back and say, I'm spending my entire life here at the baseball field and I'm not winning. you make $440 million. That's great. And you could spend it on a Lamborghini. You could go buy the nicest house that you could find on any beach in the country, and you could buy it with cash straight up. But at the same time, life's great, but I would be so frustrated as a person and as a baseball player if I couldn't win. Just that winning mentality.
You still got that 23-year-old.
Like 162 games all year I'm dedicating my life to, and we're not winning. And we can't get to the postseason.
Well, Soto won that championship team?
He won.
Okay, so
he already won. He's good.
So
but
what
I'm talking like a Mike Trout.
What is he squawking about for $440 million?
No, that I don't understand, because he's already got his ring.
Yeah, dude, you got it. You got your ring, put it away.
Yep.
The safety deposit box, where $440 million, you could have somebody guard your ring 24 hours a day, so nobody ever touches or breathes on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, from that perspective, like, you won. Like, unless he's just not happy in Washington, which could be the case.
Dude, for $440 million, and it's all guaranteed, Sigler says.
It is, yeah.
I could find 15 things to make me happy. And I could live in prison and be like, what, I'm good. Like, I'm all right. I'm cool, because when I get out, I have $440 million. And it's, we hit the wrong button. That's not good. I don't know what happened. We disappeared for a minute. So what I was trying to get to was, so you have that money, right? You have these opportunities. You have all these things going for you. It's all guaranteed. Can you, like, I've been to Washington. I've been to Washington. I like DC.
It's nice. Yeah.
It's not a place I necessarily want to live,
Mhm.
but if somebody offers you the biggest contract in MLB history, I'm gonna be okay with it. I mean, there's like, I'm gonna say it. People live in Cleveland, people live in Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like, and Washington to me is, sometimes you take the politics out of it, it's a lot better place to probably live. It's a little warmer.
Mhm.
The seasons are a little bit more. I don't want to say condensed, but there's a lot less frigid.
Yeah.
To their seasons.
It's still cold, but it's not a bad place.
But like, even when they had the World Series, it wasn't freezing cold. It
No.
wasn't like it would be if when it was in Cleveland.
Mhm.
But let's, like,
But it's all personal preference at that point,
man.
because, like, you might not like your manager. You might not like your clubhouse. I mean,
the roll of the dice he's taking, because if he goes free agency, and let's say the biggest contract you get is $300 million. That's like $140 million.
$140 million on the table. That's life-changing money.
And I don't know that cat's gonna be signing any like, I don't want to say NIL deals. What's the commercial deals?
Sponsorship.
Yeah, sponsorships. Like, what's he gonna do? Because, like, $440 million, I mean, we don't like to swear on this show, and we're not going to, but that's FU money.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't have to do anything except play baseball at a high level for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
All guaranteed. Now, if it was, they could cut him after 8 years and there's $200 million, what do you think is going through the minds of Nats fans? Probably the same thing, Siggy, is going through the minds of Pirate fans right now, because we just drafted the best player in the draft yesterday. Another shortstop and second baseman.
Yeah.
We're going to have 35 shortstops and second basemen, but we're not going to be able to maintain any of them.
You know, I saw this report the other day, though, because a lot of people are getting upset about the positions. A lot of the experts and analysts in the game of baseball are saying, don't even look at the first and second round positions unless it's a pitcher, because those are the most athletic and the most powerful bats in the top 32 that are drafted. It's more about the bat than the position at that point. So, I mean, you could transition that guy from a second baseman to a right fielder as he grows up in the minors. It's all about the bat.
You sound just like a Pirates front office.
I'm just saying, that's just how it's all about the bat.
I will tell you this, like, here's what drives me nuts about Pirates fans is O'Neal Cruz, 6'7", shortstop, only one to ever be that big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Throws 100 miles an hour.
98 the other day. So people are already like, put him at first base. They just think, and I think I've said this before, how much it drives me wild that people can just take you out of a position and put you in another one. I compared it the other day to people being, one guy being an electrician, but all of a sudden you want to be a plumber in your house. Completely different set of tools.
Years.
Yeah, you got a toolbox,
Yeah.
but it's a completely different set of skill set. And for executives to say, yeah, it's all about the bat. Like, we tried Josh Bell from outfield to first base. He's just not good. From that standpoint. And people always want to say, oh, well, it's just first base. You just got to catch the ball. No, there's so much to it. That's like saying a pitcher, all you got to do is throw it.
Yeah.
Or if you're a soccer player, you're a goalie, all you got to do is stop it. Like, there's so much athleticism that goes into that position. That's why they pay these guys so much money.
But I also think, I understand, like, it's hard to move a guy from his natural position of a second baseman and a shortstop to an outfielder. But if you get them earlier enough in their career, like a 17-year-old kid, you have 3-4 years of minor league baseball where you could put the guy out there and you could train him on a daily basis. And when you're paying a guy $8 million in the top 4 to draft him, you are going to put all of your expertise and all of your time and effort into those guys to make sure that they mature the right way and that they find their way up to the bigs, because $8-9 million in those kind of franchises like the Guardians and the Pirates is more like a $35 million investment.
You're not lying.
It's a lot of money. Like the Yankees, if they put $8 million out in the first round, whatever.
Yeah.
If this guy gets up, he gets up.
It's like Swedish fish at the candy store.
Yeah.
It's a penny a piece.
If he doesn't, we try. He's a good draft pick. But for some of these, smaller market teams, like, you're throwing $8 million at this guy, and you're pretty much saying this guy has to make it up at some point in his career, or else we completely folded on this first round pick.
All right, let's change gears here. You had a really interesting question you asked earlier, which was, if you were drafted, which rounds were you saying?
What I was saying, because in the olden days, you could have been drafted 28th round and above to 40, but now it's just 20. So say you were drafted in that 19th, 20th round. So you're the last 2. All right.
I'm ready.
And you're probably making,
by the Brewers
right now, they got in the 6th round. Their estimated money value is $270,000. So once you get to about the 19th to 20th, you might be making triple digits. Maybe
6 figures.
Maybe. We'll see. Would you take that, or would you use your college eligibility, go play at Power 5, and try and get drafted in 2 years when?
Now, do I know? By the way, thank you.
No, it's all
for drafting me.
That's what makes this question interesting. It's all a risk.
I don't know what I know now.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so let's say that I know from a 37-year-old DJ Yokley standpoint.
No, you know nothing.
I'm 18-year-old DJ Yokley.
18-year-old DJ Yokley. You have a chance to get drafted right now when you're out of high school. You're 18 years old. They're only paying you about $60,000 to sign. Plus, you have to spend time in the minor leagues to get up there. And you don't know if you're going to make it through. Or you could go to a Power 5, play a couple of years, and try and increase your value and get drafted, maybe a 7th through 3rd round pick.
Okay. You're right. I'm channeling 18-year-old DJ Yokley. He's coming in. So I'm getting drafted. I'm on the phone, right? I got my agent or whatever on the phone. He's telling me I'm getting drafted. Or I can go, I got mom and dad saying, hey, you can go get your education. 18-year-old DJ Yokley is packing his bags. He is going wherever, Chesapeake, wherever. Yeah. I'm joining the Scrappers. I'm like, because 18 years old, you can make mistakes and still get away with them. Now, from me, I'm looking at it, and I was never getting drafted, let me tell you that. But in my mind, I was. In my mind, somehow they recognized this kid from East Palestine who batted .452 with 3 home runs and then was the captain of the smallest baseball team in the history of mankind. I was going.
Yeah.
Because you only get, to me in my mind, you're never guaranteed that second shot of getting drafted. And, if baseball is your passion, like it was yours, like it was mine, and someone says, hey, I like you enough to draft you, and I'm going to pay $100,000 to to have you play baseball in which you were basically playing for ice cream cones up to that point, I'm in.
Yeah.
And you know what? My education can come later. And I'm betting on myself. What say you?
But here's the thing. You can't, once you get drafted, you can't go and play college.
No,
ball.
I know.
You're done. But you could go back to college just for athletics, but you can't go play
You could
ball.
go for academics. You can
Yes.
go, you can go get your degree. And I would be happy to do that. But the reality is, I mean, you look at it, most people, Jerome Bettis went and played for the Steelers.
Yeah.
He had a great career at Notre Dame.
Yep.
He just went back
You're
to
right.
get his
He
degree.
did go back.
A lot of people do that. Charles Barkley, I think, just did that. If I'm not, Shaq did it. So you look at all this and you got to bet on yourself. And
Yeah.
again, what most people don't realize, and the Don Palalis of the world quickly did when they got injured, you're one injury away from never doing it again.
You're right.
And you can get injured just as quickly in a bullpen session as you can out in the field.
Yep.
And there's people that will never hear their name called an MLB draft or an NFL draft that get injured in practice and never get the chance to even play. And they could have been a tier 1 player or whatever it may be. It's frustrating. It's not the answer that parents want to hear.
Yeah.
But if my son or my daughter is chosen to go play professional sports and that's their passion, that's what they've wanted to do, go do it. Go do it because, listen, there's nothing wrong with graduating from a university at 30 years old, at 40 years old.
Yeah, I had
at
a couple
50.
people in my classes that were older.
I mean,
I respect it.
we're sponsored by universities and institutions, but I would say that, listen, I love the fact that people bet on themselves to start businesses, to do things. You don't always need an education to start something. Sometimes you need it to finish it, but you don't always need it to start anything anymore. It's a lot about who you know.
Yeah.
And, these kids are oftentimes more mature mentally than we ever were you are way, way ahead of me when I graduated. Your opportunities that you've been afforded throughout your life were way different than I had. Like, I was splicing tape my first year of college. It was wild, but everything's digital now. Everything's faster. Yep. You can learn faster. You're learning stuff in high school, the stuff that I was learning in college. So you look at that and you didn't have to pay for that education in high school.
Nope.
I had to pay $30,000 a year for that education in college.
Yeah.
So if my kid gets drafted and they say, hey, I'm going to go, I'm patting him on the back. I'm getting a big hug. And I say, let's go. Let's go on a couple road trips together.
Now, the reason I brought this topic up, so I was calling a game, and this was about 2 weeks ago in the draft league.
Okay.
So, and there's this kid who's playing. I'm not going to say any names. He got drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 18th round. Okay. 544th overall. I got his bio up right now. This is out of high school. Didn't take it. Did not take it in the 18th round of the 2019 draft. He's playing for the University of Washington.
Okay.
So Power 5. Led all freshmen in 2020, had an incredible year, but because of the COVID season, didn't get drafted. 2021 had another phenomenal year at the plate, didn't get drafted. Hit 281 this season at Washington. He's probably not going to get drafted again. So out of high school, he gave up the 18th round, which would probably pay him maybe 150. We'll say that. He declined it. And now he might not get drafted at all.
Is that 150 a year? Or
No,
is that
they just pay
overall?
150 overall to sign.
Okay. So what contract do you have?
The contract would be nothing.
Like a year?
It's like a minor league contract.
Okay.
So they literally, depending where you're at, they pay peanuts to play.
So here's, and most of these guys will go and they will do like lessons.
Yeah.
Like in the off season, they'll have your kid in the same way as we do lessons around here. You got a lot of great talent around here that's able to give lessons, which is another reason why our levels of baseball and softball have gone through the roof. But for me, $150,000, like if somebody gives you 150 and you got to live on it, like
I could live on that easily.
That's what I'm saying. You can live on that for probably, I'm going to say, Richie, I'm going to say you can live on that for 5 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah. I would agree.
And
I just got to stop playing so much golf.
but if you're doing that,
Yeah.
in baseball is your life, you're not playing golf.
No.
You know what I mean?
I hope not.
Right?
My swing's going to be horrible.
Right? But for me, it's, again, you talk about that young man who had a chance to get drafted, said no, and COVID happened. And this, I mean, it's,
you never know what's going to
circumstance.
happen.
And I would much rather be around people that are in it, get the experience, and roll the dice while I'm in there. Right? You can't win in the casino unless you're in the casino.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to win outside telling people, you know, I'm gonna put it all on red, or I'm gonna put it all on black, or it's all gonna be like, you're not winning unless you're in it. Yeah. So to me, when you're in, you have opportunity because somebody else might see you and they say, hey, we like this kid. You get cut by your team because your managers change, and they go, hey, I really like this kid. Let's bring him in. Opportunity only surrounds you whenever you give it a chance. Yeah. You can't be in a world of those people and tell me what it's like, because you don't know, you know. And looking 4 years down the road or 3 years down the road and say, oh, I'll get better, never afforded that opportunity sometimes.
And that's a great point, because I think a lot of those high school kids, they think, and they're probably intimidated. They're probably like, I'm not good enough to play at league level yet. I'm only 17, 18 years old. And if I go to, you know, Washington, or if I go to Oregon or LSU, I'm going to get so much better. I'm going to get so much stronger. And you never know.
I think
you might not get better.
I think it's the other way around. I think because, and I tell people this all the time, like, when you're a senior in high school, you are so full of yourself because everybody's giving you money at your graduation party. Everybody's dropping that in. Everybody's telling you you're winning all these awards because you're a senior. Nobody tells you that you get all of that as kind of like a thank you for the last 3.5 years of hard work, as opposed to what you did your senior year. Right? I think there's more arrogance coming out of high school now than there ever has been. And I think most of these kids bet on themselves in a way that they go, if I'm this good when I'm 18, imagine how good I'm going to be when I'm 22. That is asinine.
But now with the NIL deals, I think a lot of these colleges are taking away from those players and saying, hey, don't take that 150 there from, you know, Pittsburgh. We'll pay you this to come in, and we'll get you even better. We'll give you a free education. We'll pay you to be here, and you're going to face some of the best kids that are probably going to get drafted with you in the next 2-3 years. So it's always a pitch. There's always a pitch out there, and I guarantee you Washington was saying something.
Oh, the number one thing that I learned when I went to college is that we're not in Kansas anymore. Like, your high school baseball coach who makes pennies on the dollar, pennies an hour to coach their baseball team is not necessarily there to recruit you. He's not there necessarily. You fill a void on that team, no matter what part you are. In your college, they're recruiting you because, listen, everybody wants to play sports in college. And if he loads his roster up with 50 guys for a baseball team, a small army, that is 50. Let's say you're going to a private institution, average $30,000 a year. 50 times 30. What is that?
I'm not good at math. Do you know it?
Is it 1,500?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have that, right? It's $150,000.
Yeah.
That you're bringing into that university just for your team.
Yep.
Right. So you got 50 guys on your roster. They pay for your salary. Your salary that you win. That's great. But if you bring in 50 guys for baseball, they cover your salary plus any expenses you need. And most institutions will understand quickly. Okay, why did we get 50 guys on a baseball team? Oh, that's right. Because we need to pay for this and Florida and all that stuff. Like, people don't realize that when you go to college, those recruiters, those coaches are straight up salespeople. They're it's their job to get you from point A to point B, right? Take the money in your pocket and put it in their pocket. It's Wolf of Wall Street stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's sales. But most people will sit there, look at it and go, oh, my kid's playing for this. And they feel good until that first year comes, until those credits aren't cashed in and heartbreak sets in.
Yeah.
And that now The portal has evened things out for the kids.
Yeah.
Most people will sit there and go, portal sucks, portal sucks. Portal has evened things out to make some of those coaches, these managers, whatever you want to call them, honest people. Because you're not losing years of eligibility anymore to transfer from school to school.
Yep.
Like we know that there's going to be people, graduates of the class of 2022, that are going to have hard times in college, and things aren't going to work out. And they're going to jump in that transfer portal, and they're going to go different places because they're going to learn the same thing that we learned when we went to college is you can't count necessarily all the time on people telling you what you want to hear anymore.
And, you know, when people and these players and parents, they go on these visits and they show them all the $1 million facilities, and they always show them the shiniest part of the shoe, but they never show you the bottom, right? There's always something underneath that's going to be dirtier than the top. So, you know, it's all tactics. Like you said, it's all sales. And that's the reason why they hire recruiting coordinators, so that they can push out the program and show all the shiny stuff that belongs to this program and not the stuff that, you know, they might have 5 second basemen that they're already recruiting. And you don't know that. You show up the first day, you got 4 guys lined up in the infield grass taking some ground balls.
So I showed up. I was the starting. I was to be the backup catcher my freshman year at Ohio Northern. Looked at their roster. They had 2 outgoing catchers that were graduating before I got there, a junior that was going to be a senior, a redshirt freshman that they thought was going to transfer out. I showed up. He recruited 7 freshman catchers.
Yep.
We walk in the room. There's it was a catching. It was like an offensive lineman room when I was in high school, where you're looking around. You're like, all these cats want to catch.
Yep.
And the first words, and I'll get to Craig and Eric's comment here in a second. First words my coach told me was, I spent a year recruiting all of you. Your asses are mine. And I just went, I'm sitting there in a desk, and I just went, it's over. And then they handed out the shirts, the Ohio Northern shirts at the time that I went to my freshman year. And it turned out to be the most expensive T-shirt that I ever had in my life. And because I transferred, because I was like, I didn't have a good feeling going into it after that day. I was like, this is not, I don't shy away from competition. Yeah. But that was unfair. Like, I made my decision, by the way, don't ever do this, based on I was going to be a backup for my freshman year, and I was going to play baseball.
Start. Yeah.
So Craig and Eric say, if I 100% agree, but if you transfer, you should have to sit out a year. I like it.
You know, that was the old rule.
It was. And there was reasons it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because people would just be like, you know what?
They
it's
would just
easier
take a red shirt too.
Yep.
They would say, hey, I'm going to redshirt this year. There's not much to stop it anymore.
And there's more leverage for the school that you're at, because if you're a junior and you're just like, man, I need to get out of here. You know, maybe there's a change of I don't know, managers, coaches, whatever it may be. Well, I don't understand how coaches and managers can change, right? They can just get up and leave, go to jobs for better, more money.
Yep.
And the kids can't. Like that, to me, that's wrong.
Yeah.
They were recruited by those guys. And if they're going to leave them behind, the kids should have the option to go somewhere else too.
No, I agree with you. And I think I agree with this transfer portal. I do like the option, though, that you would have to sit out a year. I mean, I think that's fair, because what's happening now is a lot of the Power 5 schools are becoming almost like all-star teams. Like, when you get these kids in, say you're a mid-major program and you get these kids in to come play. Doesn't matter what sport. Could be basketball, baseball, football, whatever. They come in as freshmen. They're not even a top pick by any Power 5 team in the country. You develop them. You train them. They grow up under your system, and they blow up. They're stars. By their junior year, a lot of those mid-major guys that are the best guys on your team are gone.
What if it was?
I think that's killing mid-major schools and athletic programs, because the Power 5s, you know, they're loving this rule. They're saying we're going to get the best of the best coming in.
Yeah, I mean, they have people that they've hired just to watch the transfer portal.
Yeah,
you know, like multiple people. This isn't just like Uncle Leroy just checking out the transfer portal on his spare time on the pooper at work. This is like that guy's one job, or a guy, you know, that team's full job is to watch the transfer portal. And hey, what do they do? What, I mean, somebody said, and I forget where I saw it, they said YouTube videos on recruitment videos have gone skyrocketed since the transfer portal's opened. Because these kids can make their own recruitment videos now, wherever they are. Amo chiming in says, do you think Holiday's kid went number one because of his dad? Because a lot of people were talking about Tamar Johnson at number one.
You know, I'll say this. You got to be really confident in a guy that you're paying $8 million to for the number one pick in the draft, especially when your franchise has not been good over the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. I think, you know, picking Jackson Holiday for Baltimore was a good pick. But still, I mean, their approximate pick value is $8.84 million, him and Drew Jones out of high school. And you got to be sure that you're picking the right guy. And you know what? Holiday's kid probably just as athletic as his dad was, and he's probably a stud. But, you know, if I'm a front office guy, I'm not really looking at a former major leaguer's son just because he played in the bigs. I'm looking at this guy for what he has, not his dad.
Amo, you see that? That's Jackson Holiday's spray chart. Okay, that's straight off a Game Changer. What that reads is he's got 6 home runs to left, 4 home runs to center, 10 home runs to right. And look how many baseballs were hitting the infield. Not a whole lot. I think he was drafted because of his talent.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't think anybody's going to sit there and draft anybody number one overall because of who their dad is, other than maybe if you're Ken Griffey.
Or Derek Jeter.
Does Jeter have a kid? Jeter doesn't have a kid.
No.
Why doesn't Jeter have a kid?
Hold on.
That's a little weird. DJJ. Derek Jeter Jr.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he's married. Not that doesn't mean he couldn't have a kid, but
let's see here.
Does A-Rod have a kid? Heaven forbid.
Oh, he's got daughters.
He's going to be a softball dad. I love it.
Let's see. You got to scroll all the way down here on Wikipedia, which I probably shouldn't be trusting anyway.
Dude, if you were at some softball like weekend thing and Derek Jeter's there,
that'd be awesome.
That's got to be like AAU and seeing, you know, back in the day when you saw Kobe.
Yeah.
You know, like what?
All right, so they do have 3 kids.
Is he married?
Yeah.
Didn't he date Mariah Carey for a long time?
Yeah, they got
God
3 girls.
Bless him.
Man, he's got to be kicking himself.
What, dude? Being a girl
Nothing
dad
wrong
is
with
awesome.
a girl dad. I'm just saying, you know, and Hall of Famer, you always want a guy or a boy to come.
I don't know.
Replace your name.
I don't know.
I mean, you know how, like, that's just a different perspective. Like, as a dad, like, you know how happy you are for your son.
Oh, 100%.
You'd be more happy for your son to get drafted than you would be when getting drafted.
You think?
Oh yeah.
Because listen, listen. You and I both know.
And you don't think Derek Jeter misses the baseball, like being around?
Oh, he's still in it.
He is, but like being around Little League baseball. Like, can you imagine Derek Jeter coaching your kid's team?
It'd be like Peyton Manning.
That'd be awesome.
Have you ever seen that Saturday Night Live skit where Peyton Manning's trying to help the kids that are like for I forget what they were, the United Way or whatever. Like they were less fortunate, and he's like throwing it off their heads and stuff like that. Like I think that I think that Derek Jeter would probably not be the Derek Jeter that we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
he was like super high expectation too.
Yeah.
You know, and most of those guys don't make good coaches because of their expectations, their work ethic.
True.
But it would be funny to watch Derek Jeter coach. Like having Derek Jeter coach my T-ball team this year would have been the funniest thing in the world. Like watching him try to coach Zai about trying not to make, like I did the X thing, right? So you make an X in every position and you have the kids protect the X.
Yeah, they
stand on the X and they protect it. Kids were like drawn. I had one kid that was down in like a sprinter stance, and he's like, as soon as the ball gets hit, he's running. Like I laugh at myself when that happens. I think I'm pretty decent with kids. Derek Jeter Just
he'd go nuts.
I just have this picture of him standing on the fence, shaking his head like, well, what am I doing? Who would you want if you were a little leaguer? Who would you want to coach you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Francisco Lindor.
Why?
Frankie Lindor.
Just because he's always laughing?
Just because he's got a great personality.
Because he's got the same baseball skill as the kids on the team, or what?
You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Because I feel like he's just the type of guy you want as a leader and the type of guy that's going to teach the kids to play the game the right way. I mean, he's always a guy that's smiling, and that's the kind of kid I want around my team. I don't want, a muscle guy coming out there yelling at the kids. And
you don't want John Rocker coaching your kids?
Absolutely not. He'd come to me and say, I'm done playing this game.
Dude, I would love John Rocker. I mean, that would be a
Poppy.
sitcom. Big
Poppy
Poppy
would be funny.
Wally, it's not what you think. That was one of my favorite ESPN ones. There's another one. Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
It's a good one. I'm trying to think. Mark McGuire.
But like, you got to think of it from a little kid's perspective.
Dude, Mark McGuire was a cartoon. Bigger than life. Big Mac.
Bigger than
like Sammy Sosa. Like, how, if you were a kid in 98, a little leaguer, and you watched Sammy Sosa play baseball and he got to be your coach for like a game, and you just hit like a grounder to third base, and you like, how awesome would that be? Like, and Mark McGuire. I'm trying to think of some other people.
Miguel Cabrera,
Omar Vizquel, like back in the day,
yeah,
would have been cool. Who we got some more here? Bobby Bonilla, because every July we're getting ice cream. Siggy's all about that vacation.
That's good.
He's all about the ice cream.
That's good. Hey, it was National Ice Cream Day yesterday.
I got ice cream.
Did you?
Did you?
No.
What?
Nobody wanted to go.
It's National Gary Leininger Day today.
Yeah.
Which is like bonus second day ice cream because he's the ice cream man, the DQ man down in Lisbon. Hey, listen, honest to goodness, if you are out and about today and you are in the Lisbon area, I need you to stop out at the Lisbon DQ. I need you to order your favorite, and you need to say happy birthday to the legend, our chief photographer here at YSN, Gary Leininger, who does so much, like above and beyond constantly for us. He does all those pictures, the majority of the pictures on YSN and from Gary Leininger. All of them that are pretty much in the folder right now from this year have been Gary, and he just loves not only the position, but he loves being able to showcase your kids so much. So if you wouldn't mind, if you can't make it out, do me a favor, go on our social media pages and say happy birthday to Gary. We have a special little graphic out there for him. He's a friend to everybody. Nobody dislikes the guy.
Nope.
And he sent me a thing the one day, and he goes, if you don't want to be a leader, sell ice cream. And he sells ice cream. So it was awesome. Seth chiming in, he says, Bruce Sutter would be a good coach. I'm blind. Who's Bruce Sutter? I've got no idea. Seth, you got to help us out. Randy Johnson would be a cool coach. Randy Johnson's a photographer right now.
Bruce, I know that. You ever seen this guy?
Huh.
Yeah, he's an old pitcher for the Cubs and Cardinals.
You know who would be a good one is what's his name? Kent Murphy.
Kent Murphy. He would he'd swear a little bit too much, but
but listen, if you're a little league coach and you don't swear to yourself, there's something wrong with you. Like,
yeah,
they just need it for mental therapy to get through some of the games. Hit dingers. You know how you bunt? Hit dingers.
You go.
Hey, go. This is a strange place. You just look outside and there's just rando Calrissians walking around.
Walk past.
Okay. Little League. Were you like an MVP? I feel like Little League, you were the GOAT.
No, I didn't play Little League.
What?
I played travel.
Wait.
Yeah. I didn't play 12U.
How do you do Angel Hernandez? Chet
Stedman. That is legend. That's one of my favorite movies.
The Rocket.
I actually had that movie in the CD player the other day, like the movie player, but I couldn't figure out how to get the movie player onto the TV because we got this new like remote or something that has like Netflix like integrated into the remote. So you hit like the Netflix button and it pops up.
Is it a DVD player?
Yeah, well, I have the old DVD player, but then like on our TV, we have like the new remote.
Yeah.
That has like all of like the Amazon stuff like into it.
Yeah.
So I can't figure out how to get the DVD player on the input to the TV. It used to be input 4, but no, it's no longer.
You have to look
4.
at the back of the TV where you plugged it in. It would be
I know
HDMI 4.
The cord, I don't even want to go back there. The cords are like disgusting. It's like
It's got a rat's nest.
Maybe.
You got to figure that out. You're a tech guy.
I know.
Whose TV is it? The family TV?
Yeah.
Okay. Send Josh back there.
No chance he gets his hands dirty back there.
Is he one of those clean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't touch it now.
Well, no, he's not a blue collar person.
Josh is white collar.
Josh is white collar.
Josh is white collar. He
He'll
was
be
calling a game the other day.
He was, yeah.
Earned some green, so he's a green collar now.
Yeah.
Should we talk about what's going on tonight? I know we've only got a few minutes left, so we're gonna have we're gonna call it the Dinger Derby watch party here on YSN. So we kind of already outlined it, but one of the cool things about it is I miss our watch parties. We did the NCAA watch party a couple years ago. Didn't do it this year. We had the get together at the bunker. And one of the things that I think people appreciate the most is just being able to watch things with us. Like they're watching it, we're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying what they're saying? We're people of the people. We are the people's champions, and we are bringing it back. Kyle he has a 100-word minimum that he has to meet by the end of tonight. So make sure you get Kyle all riled up. I don't know if he'll hit that minimum. The 100 words is a hefty goal for him. It's a lofty goal.
What's he writing on?
No, just talking. Like, can we get 100 words out of him?
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
That baseball game, it was tough, but once I got him going, you get Kyle to laugh and you're good.
Well, here's my thing too. When you have a lot of like newer broadcasters, like you kind of just gotta, get them in slowly but surely, right? They're not going to say a lot that first night, but slowly but surely over time, they'll open up a little bit.
Have I ever told you about the one he's no longer with us. God bless him. So he was like the next Bob Costas. That's what he told me. And I'm like, awesome.
Right.
Love it. I've got so much experience. This. Awesome. Can't wait. This kid was college kid, said he was being scouted by ESPN, which I don't know what the hell that means.
How is that?
Don't understand that. But I went with it. I'm like, listen, you're at that point, warm body, sitting in the stands, and you're going to call the game for us. So I'm sitting with him in his first game, and he goes, hey, I'll be play-by-play, you be color. And I'm like, okay, we'll roll with this. I can do color. So he goes, all right. I told him a countdown because we all, you always got to set to the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, intro. And then the intro goes through. At that time, it was only like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's getting ready. He's like confident. Intro hits, ghost. Like
Mike Fright.
His whole face went white. We go on the air. Red light goes on. Frozen. He was supposed to start. And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, tonight from the Boardman Fields of Dreams. Nope.
Nothing.
Could not get words out. Like
I've seen that happen firsthand.
He's like trying to get it.
Yeah.
Nothing's going.
Yeah.
So I took over, did that part, got to the first break. He's like, I quit. And I was like, what do you mean you quit? He's like, I'm done.
Broadcast
on the broadcast. He didn't finish it. He walked right out the door, came back in, did a couple broadcasts like later on when he composed himself. I think people were making fun of him because he like tweeted out to everybody he knew, this is what I'm doing. Said he got sick, whatever, but man, like his face, like it was like he was on the mic and he's like, and he looks at me and like he saw a ghost.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a lot of broadcasters get that. Not to that degree, though.
That is like a real thing. And I've heard, a couple stories being in the broadcasting program at Youngstown State. That's happened to a couple of the students that, I've done live broadcasts on ESPN Plus.
The red light gets me. When you're looking at a camera like this, and there's a red light right up above it, and that thing goes on.
It's green. The tally light. That tally.
We don't have ours was just red.
Okay.
And it was when the tally light goes on. And dude, I'll never forget when I was doing college at Westminster. I was the sports director, and like my first broadcast, I was pouring down sweat.
That's how it is though. Like those lights, when you get in the studio, you're like, oh, this is a pretty cool environment. Yeah. This is comfortable. When you're on your first hosting gig or whatever you're doing, analyst, and that light, wow, I'll say this after that light turns red. You feel like you're under the sun. You feel like I got to take these clothes off. I'm going to die. It is so hot.
I was sweating so much that I was flicking off sweat like this between takes. Like when they were going to the highlights, I'd be like this because it is pouring down my face. I was like, what is going on? Like I didn't think I was nervous.
Yeah.
But then like there's probably 6 people watching and you're all about
You're right.
It. You're like, oh my God, I'm on ESPN.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Anyway,
say it.
Out of the Horizon League. University of Milwaukee closer AJ Blueball just got drafted in the 7th round.
In my mind, when you said we'll get to this in a second,
you thought it was Palali.
And I thought it was Palali, and I thought, do I risk throwing this chair over top of the camera? Because I was gonna do it.
I was saw his name pop up. I'm like, what? He threw 90.
Who drafted him?
He got drafted
Milwaukee?
by Houston.
So
he's from the Milwaukee Panthers,
gotcha.
Who YSU plays. He's their closer. He threw 97 miles per hour when he faced Youngstown State this year. He came out of the bullpen. It was a 13-1 game. They just threw him because he needed some reps because he hasn't thrown because they weren't very good.
Yeah, they're bad.
So they weren't getting too many save opportunities. So they threw him in there. They needed to get him reps. It was like 13-1. He came out, boom, boom, boom.
Are they just looking for guys that have velo?
I mean, he's got a type of velo that's hard to get from that level because I think he's about 22 years old, maybe 21, 22. So
nothing crazy about his delivery. It was just
he's a big frame. He's over 6'3".
Okay,
so he's lengthy, but
because like you look at guys like Joel Hake,
yeah,
and one of the all-time greats in YSU history
because he could command and
they didn't even sniff him.
No, but this guy's throwing 97. That's hard to teach.
Congratulations. Yeah. I'll leave it there. Congratulations. Draft freaking Dom Palali. Let's go,
I think
Pirates.
We're getting there. We're 2 picks away from the end of the 7th round. I am stunned by the amount of high school kids that have been picked in this draft this year.
I'm going to tell you, if the Pirates pick Dom Palali, we're going to come live again. Like, we're coming live, and we're going to get Palali. I'm going to go put on all my Pirates gear, every bit of it. I might get the Pirate Parrot down here for a talk. And we'll go. All right, we got to get to our last little bit of the show here before we break it up for till 8 p.m. till the home run. What is the home run derby watch party?
Yeah.
Here we go. It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by our really good friends, Mr. Eric Carlson and his whole crew over at Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them on the web at dickieelectric.com, or if you're in need of anything electrical, anything commercial, anything industrial, make sure you check out Joe Dickey Electric on their campus in North Lima. All right, Rich, what's your spark?
That's my spark. Getting to talk to the owner and Eric Carlson over the weekend. I saw him, on and we were able to sit down and talk for a little bit, and we kind of have some family ties, not related blood-wise, but through connections and through some marriages. So, being able to talk to him, he's a big fan of you, and he loves what you do at YSN, and just love his support.
We do at YSN.
Just love his support for us, and it seemed like we were talking about this at lunch. At whatever we needed, he'd be able to throw our way, and he's just a great guy.
We have so many of those people out there. Carlson certainly at the front end of that, and we thank him. I mean, without him, stuff like this isn't possible. Tonight isn't possible. Hopefully, fingers crossed, our trip to Texas here in a couple of weeks, not possible. So thank you very much, Mr. Carlson, and it's sponsoring this, the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Mine is Richard. It is certainly. First off, it's some of the stories you tell. You've turned into quite the storyteller, and secondly is when we're out and about, how people react to us. Not just one or like in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we did that game last week, one of the funniest things, and we only got to call it one inning together.
Yeah, I know.
But people are like, "Oh, the big dogs are here," and no. It's funny to hear people and see. And for me, Siggy tells me this all the time. When you show up to a game, I don't know. Siggy doesn't sound anything like that. When you show up to a game, people take it serious. Like I don't know why that. It's the same thing with you. Like, I feel like it's both of us at this point, but I don't know why.
Well, when we went to that South Range outing, like you're like a hero over there. It's like, oh, I recognize that voice from a mile away. And there was like 2 or 3 people that said that.
And it's funny because like I was the same guy, Rich, that they told me when I was interning and I was working for channel 28-1 that you should smoke cigarettes to make your voice go down. Like, honest, that is a legit thing that happened.
Really?
Jeff Left Coolidge told me that straight up. He goes, you should start smoking cigarettes. My whole life, say no to cigarettes. Jeff Left Coolidge, 1 year out of college, says, hey, man, you need a pack of Marlboro Lights.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they didn't like my voice. They didn't like my appearance. They didn't like – there was a whole bunch of stuff. And we if you watch my stuff on my victory lap, you get this. But, like, we live in a very like snooty industry of you got to look a certain way. We took all those frames and we broke them. Like, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you sound. Look, you don't see that much of this on national television. You know what I mean? You don't.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Broski just got drafted 8th round, Texas Rangers.
Let's go! The Rangers!
Look at that.
The Rangers.
He just got picked.
See, if we would have canceled it, if we would have shut this off in an hour, we never would have saw that.
Let's go.
Ross, and you were supposed to be there.
I was.
We're going to get him on. We're going to try to get him on the show tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, the Home Run Derby watch party. Be part of it. Join in on the conversation. Put us on the laptop. You watch on your TV, whatever it may be. We want you to be a part of it. So make sure you do that. Rich, you'll be there. I'll be there. Kyle will be there. We'll have some special guests throughout the night. One of them, hopefully, Matt Broski, the newly
I know he's got a party tonight, so it's going to be
Texas
tough to
Ranger. We'll bar him for 5 minutes.
tough to get him off. So I got to text his dad.
Maybe we'll have him jump on right now. We'll do a little preview. We'll throw him on. That is going to do it for the Power Hour here on this Monday. I hope you guys have a great Monday. Hope you're watching Home Run Derby with us tonight. If you're not, be safe, whatever it may be. And we will see you tomorrow, Tuesday, right here on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by our great sponsors and, of course, right here on YSN. YSN thanks you for